Hey Ruba, Daphne here. How are you? Thank you so much for sending your next essays and thank you for your kind comments. I really appreciate that. It's very nice of you. Um, okay, this essay is great, but one big problem here. Okay, read the question. My dad always says to me, rule number naught, read the question. And the most important thing here is this. Okay, this is the key of this whole essay. Spend a lot of money on tickets. So we're not talking about is it okay to go there? Yeah, fine, it's good to go there. But it's can you really justify spending $200 on it when you should be paying your bills or your education or whatever? This is what the question is talking about. So I love your opening. Cinemas, operas, and stadiums are some of the most popular entertaining arenas where people can spend their leisure time nowadays. Now connect it to the thing. Some believe here cost of uh, this leisure or these leisure activities. Oh, whoops, come on. Outweigh any possible benefits. Okay, so immediately connect it. Sorry, bad typing today. Some believe the cost of these leisure activities outweigh any possible benefits. Okay, and then you can put here and watching football at home is not as enjoyable as watching it outside the house. Personally, I disagree. Yep, good, that's fine. Now you could say IMF from, okay, recent music festivals. Okay, so this is where you are going to get your band 7 that I imagine you're aiming for, is to make the essay personal. So rather than this, which could be connected to any essay, okay, connect it to your essay now. Make this personal to the essay. So examples from recent music festivals, whatever. Okay, and then change your examples to go with this. So do you see how I mean that we've got to connect this idea back to the question? This is task achievement, so it's really, really important. On one hand, there's ample evidence that paying for, so we need to sort of keep on changing this. You get the idea. Recreational spots, I wouldn't say spots, recreational distractions maybe, has many cognitive and psychological effects which positively reflect on people's, yes, good. This is largely because watching films at theatres or at any festivals could be a very appropriate chance where humans can meet friends. Absolutely. Uh, I would say three things here. Meet friends, experience atmosphere with strangers, and network. I don't know if you know network. So build networks for future business contacts. So we talk about networking, which is building very much in the business environment, making contacts for business. For example, you could change that, yeah? I have indicated that most people tend to spend weekends outside home to relax, and cinemas are one of the most favourite places where they can de-stress. Places, yeah, de-stress and unwind. Therefore, it's clear that splashing out, right, now you've got to the point, but you've taken a very long time to get there. You need to get there early. Get there in every paragraph. Yeah, I love splashing out, but it's not academic. Okay, I love it. That's what we'd say, but you need to say at least clear that um, investing significant funds on event tickets. This is really the kind of language you want. It's not considered as negative at all since it's a necessity. I really like that. Good. Okay, so it's just a tiny, tiny bit, but I'm glad you're making this mistake now, not in the exam. Okay. On the other hand, although a lot of people are extremely like, that's not very good English. Although, um, let's go. Although visiting theatres and cinemas is extremely popular, uh, there is no doubt that it could be physically and financially consuming. Okay, now we're getting into it. Fans of sport or art could could usually, not always, usually you wouldn't follow up. You would follow. Maybe why don't you have follow or engage with? Because that's quite nice. A similar word, showing more language to the examiner. Any event, whether live or recorded. Yeah, absolutely. That is so true. Good point. For example, there's a football match or musical concert that will be held at a stadium. Be comprehensively transferred. Yes, of course it will. You're so good. Thus, comma, it's possible to state beyond doubt that devoting money. Here we go. Devoting earnings or wages. Keep this connected back to this idea of money. It's practically redundant. And here, I would say this money could be better spent elsewhere. Tell me what you would spend the money on. Okay, rather than saying it's a waste, tell me like why is it a waste? From the examples and arguments given, comma here, I firmly believe that although entertainment, you want the noun, is being made easier, following, I think you could say here is thanks to live streaming, more accessible, cheaper and flexible. So rather than this, just get 3 adjectives. Then you could say fans still like to. Squander is very critical. Be careful of that word. Still like to. Squander is a very negative word. It's a great word, but it's a really negative word. Still enjoy the experience of being at a live event. Just slightly turn it round. And then I really like this final line. Should be taken into account. Very good. Okay, you've done a really, really good essay, Ruba. There's lots of fantastic stuff in there. I hope you get what I'm trying to say about keeping, like, you need to show right here in the intro that you understand the question, okay? And then make sure you're kind of checking it. But you've got some really, really good arguments. A lovely grammar in here today as well. Good work. Okay, the crazy line graph. I like this one. The line graph demonstrates rainfall statistics in 3 English states. Now, they're not states, we call them just countries, over a 1-year period. Generally speaking, in Scotland, the percentage of rain broadly fluctuated. Yep. And 20, yep. In April and January, the percentage of rain remained high. This is just in Scotland. Yeah, okay, fine, good. The case in Wales was similar to Scotland. There was a trend of significant rising and falling, with a high point, yep, good. The lowest amount of rain. You comma just before that. The lowest amount, good, superlative, which accounted for half the portion of August. Half the, you wouldn't really say portion, you would say half the volume, maybe, because we're talking liquid, of August. Okay. Where, you wouldn't start with whereas. In contrast, you would have whereas is a linking word which we literally use to link 2 sentences. I'll show you in a minute. Whereas in England, there was no significant difference between the proportions of rain during the year. It reached, you could say there was less variation in the proportions rather than it. Yeah, you could have precipitation, just to change the word here. Precipitation reached 120, then decreased, and it, I would say, was, students always like this word, fluctuated. Only use it once, but it is a good word to use between these 2 numbers. Okay. Overall, in England, people do not live through a dry season at all over the year. That's very true. It rains a lot at all over the year, whilst in Scotland, it does happen in some months. Okay. Now, it's over this year, so it's specifically that year. So obviously, every year is different. Now, in terms of grammar and accuracy, you are bang on. What you haven't done is this: make comparisons where relevant. That is really what the examiner wants you to do. You've described the main features, that's fine. And doing it country by country will get you enough marks. But if you want to get top marks, you need to be telling me, link this together. So even before you write anything, take a pencil, draw a pencil mark here, draw a pencil mark here where there's a big contrast, draw a mark here, where it's similar. Maybe draw this mark, because this is a bit crazy. Yeah? So pick out 5 main things to talk about, and talk about those. That's really what I want you to do here, okay? So yours is totally accurate, and it's really, really good, but in order to get the great marks, you need to be comparing. This is really, really important. But Ruby, you've done fantastically well. Really impressive work. Keep on going.